Welcome to the High Vibe Soul Podcast, a space where we discuss personal growth, spirituality, motherhood, relationships, and shifting old paradigms so that you can live your most authentic, soul-aligned life. I'm your host, Lyndsey, and I founded the High Vibe Soul Company to empower women and support them in becoming their highest, brightest selves. From my light to yours, I am so grateful you're here. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is your November energy forecast, and it's going to be an interesting month. I'm just going to get right into it. So I was just meditating on the energy of November, specifically for anyone who's listening to this podcast. Some of the themes that came through: partnership, collaboration, family, relationships, and emotion. Emotion felt like a really big one this month. I wrote down Scorpio vibes. It felt like there were a lot of emotions and even frustrations just bubbling to the surface. And there's a saying that it's coming up to come out, like it's coming up to be released. Knowing this going into the month might help you a little bit. A lot of us were taught as children to just bury it down instead of moving through it. Move through it, move with it, feel it, be in your feels. If you need to take a day to just feel your feels, cry, scream, jump, shake your hands, whatever you need to do to get it out of your body instead of stuffing it down. It really feels like there's going to be a lot of emotion coming up to come out this month. I even wrote down the word prickly. You might feel a little prickly, you might feel agitated at times, and it might be with one specific person, like your husband or wife or partner, or it might be just in general with the collective. It could even be with yourself. I wrote down, where am I not feeling that I'm being treated fairly or appreciated? That feels like a message for sure for somebody. And then I wrote down nervous system. Nervous system practices are going to be so important. Centering, alignment practices, any routines and rituals for self-care, self-love, anything that really calms your energy, clears your energy is going to be super, super helpful. And again, some of the things that you can do to move out stale energy, and these are things that I teach my children. Besides the shaking, you can jump up and down. Rebounding is so good for us, even as adults. You can flick your fingers, like literally flick off the energy. If you've had a tough conversation with someone and you feel like it's weighing on you and it's heavy, you can actually, if you're watching me on YouTube, you see I'm pulling the energy down from my shoulder down to my hands and like shaking it off. That's something that's common in energy healing training as a way to release other people's energy. You can also just say, I release any energy I picked up that is not mine, and lovingly send it back to whoever it came from. So those are just some little tips for you as we get into this month. But be really gentle with yourself. It feels like a month for self-love as well, and just extra self-care and really slowing down a bit. I think journaling will be so, so helpful to move through this emotion, and mindfulness, meditation, of course. I'm a huge fan of meditation, and anything else that brings you back to yourself. Time in nature is so good for you. Walking outside in nature, the trees and the air and the birds, and listening to all the sounds. Like, go take a walk in nature, but without a podcast, without any music on, and just let it reset you. Okay, so I'm going to get into the numerology, which I swear, I had not looked up before I did this energy update. For some reason, I was thinking it was an 11 month, but yes, it's the 11th month. It's not an 11 month, it's a 2 month. So we're in a 9 year, so that's 11 plus 9, it's a 2 month. And what are twos all about? Twos are all about everything I mentioned: partnership, collaboration, family, emotions, relationships, balance, and harmony, which goes back to what I was saying about the nervous system. And oh, this is interesting. It says, while it's a time for sensitivity and emotional connection, individuals should be aware of a potential for moodiness or oversensitivity during this period of the 2 month. Okay, so that goes along with everything we're already talking about. Makes perfect sense. Now I'm going to get into the oracle card pulls, and I'm so excited to read the descriptions because I haven't read them yet. I literally just pulled these 5 minutes ago. Okay, so first I called in your highest divine selves. I called in the angels of light, and I asked, what are your themes for November? What are your overarching themes? The first one that came through is beautiful uncaging. And if you're watching on YouTube, there is a heart with a lock in the middle, and it looks like it's being opened with golden light on this card. So let's read. This is from the Oracle of the Seven Energies deck. I love this deck. I love all Colette Baron-Reid's decks. Interesting. Okay, the key concepts for this card. The prison of guilt, a need for self-inventory, rigorous honesty, accountability, making amends. At this time, you're being called to assess where guilt is playing a part in your life, recognize how it's affecting you and others, and address it so you can release yourself from its grip. Guilt is a powerful emotional state that keeps you accountable for your actions when you've done something that causes harm. However, it can also feed a self-sabotaging cycle, say that 10 times fast, that fosters codependency and a distorted sense of personal power. Have you done or said something for which you need to make amends? Have you disregarded a boundary or broken a promise? When you sincerely admit you are wrong and begin the process to fix it, this is an act of accountability, responsibility, and liberation. So freedom comes from making amends. So this is where the uncaging comes from. Uncage yourself from the prison of your own making. Ooh, man, that's kind of intense. Next card, which is very much in line with the first one. Let it go. And let's read this description. The key concepts for this card, oh, of course, forgiveness, healing resentment, shedding the role of the eternal martyr, letting go of victimhood, cutting the ties that bind you to a destructive story, releasing pain so you can move into the lesson it offers, and relinquishing the need to be right. Wow. I like what she says here. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior or minimizing a hurt done to you. Forgiveness is simply a commitment to stop telling an old story so you don't have to carry its burden anymore. Now is the time for radical forgiveness. Say no to drama in all forms. Forgive yourself and others for engaging in it. It is the key to a liberated and meaningful life. It's so true. When you hold on to resentment, you're really only hurting yourself, and you can forgive someone for what they did without it meaning that it was okay. So that's really, really powerful. It's really a form of, like she says, liberation, a form of freedom, and going back to a beautiful uncaging of your heart. So that makes sense. And then this last card is a little bit lighter. It says, bearing fruit, your third theme for November. The key concepts are birthing, the results of hard work, an idea or a thought manifesting into form, the relationship between the external world and your internal world of feeling and belief. If your life were a tree, what fruit would it bear? Envision the results of the efforts you put in achieving your dreams and desires in partnership with the divine. Can you see that the way you think, feel, and believe is always reflected in the material world? There is always a correlation between what you see, what you expect to see, what you intend, and what you project. Everything is intrinsically connected. You are in a powerful and fertile season of your life where you're particularly good at making things happen with very little effort. So pay close attention to what you're manifesting now. Be clear about what you intend. That's exciting. And that kind of brings me back, if you listen to the October energy update, the whole overarching theme was about abundance. And the angels gave a really amazing tip that I followed. That was, instead of making a gratitude list, make an abundance list, and every night add to this list and say how abundance flowed to you in whatever form it came to you. I now have a list. I'm going to pull it up if you're watching on YouTube. I shared this on Instagram too. I have the longest list from this past month. You can see if you're watching. I mean, it's wild the amount of abundance that was flowing to me. And the more that I acknowledged it and thanked the universe for it and got excited about it, the more that just kept coming. And of course, yes, you could say, well, that was a theme. Yes, but you receive what you are putting out into the world. So if you are putting out into the world gratitude and excitement and joy and just that magnetic kind of energy, you're going to receive more of that back. And it also was just so eye-opening for me because I feel like September I was in not a slump, but I was definitely in like a weird space. I think a lot of us were with eclipse season. It was intense and it was just really draining and there was just a lot going on. And so it was almost like a reset for my energy. So this goes along sort of with our last theme, but that's really exciting. Going back to something I always say, which is pay attention to what you're manifesting. Like notice in your life if you are attracting certain people or certain situations, whether you perceive it as good or bad, whatever it may be, you are co-creating this whole experience and your energy is attracting whatever you are receiving. So really pay attention to that this month. So those are your themes. And then the next question I asked was, what are the challenges that the listeners might expect this month? And for this, I went to the Ancient Stones Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. The first card was The Secret Chamber, Deep Connection, Potency, Treasure. The Secret Chamber is a card of deep potency and privacy and of intimacy and preciousness. One where we recognize what's potent, pure, and worth protecting. This is a call to remember to truly enjoy the precious jewels of your life. It invites you to slow down the pace and perhaps savor those potent moments before rushing to share them with everyone else. This is a card that reminds you it's okay to keep some of those precious jewels just for yourself, to taste the fruits of your labor. You don't need to alchemize anything. It's safe to slow down and savor the sweetness for yourself. So that might be a challenge for you this month, and especially going into the holiday season. Like if you're in the United States, we have Thanksgiving coming up first. And as I'm saying this, it's 111. What are you manifesting? Set your intentions. But this might be a challenge for you. It might be a challenge for you to really slow down and savor and just soak in the magic. It's funny because I just was working on my event that's coming up on Sunday, and I was kind of looking through my outline of what I wanted to share, and that was something that was coming in so strong, was really leaning into presence this holiday season more than ever. There's more distractions than ever. There's more things pulling at our energy in every direction than ever. It's super, super easy to be distracted by your phone, social media, by other people, by all the to-dos, especially as we go into the holiday season. And that was something that was really coming forward for this group too, was just presence, coming back to mindfulness throughout the day, getting in your car, taking 5 deep breaths, setting a calendar reminder every few hours for 5 minutes of mindfulness, whatever that might look like for you. And also giving yourself 20 minutes of sacred me time every day to really recharge and come home to yourself, come home to your soul, your heart, your energy. Definitely a clear message, I feel like, for November, but that feels like for December as well, for sure. So that is a potential challenge for you. The other one that came through, this is interesting as a challenge, dancing with stones, movement, teamwork, partnership. This kind of goes back to the overarching theme, I feel. The message of this card is to appreciate the steady pillars of union, partnership, and teamwork. It invites us not to stay fixed in our views or planning and instead dance with life itself. How are you being called to listen more to other people? What ways are you being called to flow with what is? How can you collaborate more effectively with others and work together as a team? When we soften our individual will and our ideas about how things should be, and instead see ourselves as part of a beloved group, what we then can create can be multiplied. And then we work together for a common purpose, and it's that much sweeter when we achieve it. So the inquiry in this card is really, how are you being called to work better with others or appreciate those around you a little more? So really be mindful of that this November, and especially as all these emotions start bubbling up. I was reading this book on relationships recently. It was saying how it's so easy when you're in marriage or partnership with someone, you really a lot of times start filtering them through this perspective of what they're doing wrong. And to get out of that, one of the ways that you can get out of it is every night say, "Hey, honey, I love that you did this," and start noticing all the things they're doing right. Or you could even write it down like a partner gratitude journal, but it can really rewire your brain. I need to start doing this because my husband and I definitely get caught in these cycles ourselves where we just don't appreciate each other because we're just kind of on autopilot with each other. We've been together, I don't even know, over a decade. So just a little tip for you there that I just learned that I'm going to try to implement as well. But yeah, it definitely feels like teamwork, partnership, marriage, whatever it is for you. It feels like that's going to be one of our challenges this month. So knowing that going in, how can we mitigate this and move through our emotions smoothly, and also just find more gratitude and appreciation when we are in that tough space? So those are the challenges. Then I asked, what opportunities do we have for November? And only one card came through for this, but it makes perfect sense. It says, lay it on the altar, hand it over, soften, surrender, forgive. That theme of forgiveness is going to be really huge this month. And it might even be, this is just coming through, it might even be forgiving yourself. Maybe you are a mother like me and you have some big feelings one day, as we call them, and you explode on your kids. It happens to the best of us, okay? Nobody's perfect. Really, what's more important with our kids is the repair. And obviously, you don't want to be yelling at your kids all the time, but it's going to happen at some point or another because none of us here that I know of are ascended masters. Focus on the repair there and also forgive yourself if that happens. I know whenever that happens to me, I am so hard on myself and it will keep me up at night. I will think about it. If it happens on the way to school, I will cry the whole morning. I mean, it's brutal. And then my kids come home, they're like, "Hi, Mom, I had a great day." It's like it's totally forgotten by them. But the repair is most important out of all of this. That's something I've learned. So this says we can be so tough on ourselves, but it's through our problems, challenges, and mistakes that we grow the most. And when we experience those difficult times, we gain the capacity to truly be there for one another. No one is immune to the challenges of life, and we all need support as we journey through. To know what can truly hold us through our ever-changing human life, to find a way to soften toward ourselves when life's hard. Lay your worries, concerns, and struggles on the altar. Stay open to being supported. This card urges you to welcome support from those around you, to soften your heart, and to forgive. You don't need to know how to do it. A willingness is enough. Offer compassion and mercy toward yourself and those around you. Remember that we are all doing the best we can, and that every day, every moment of the day, we can lay our worries out to our higher power. We don't need to go through it alone. And the question at the bottom says, how can you soften your heart? What are you carrying that's getting too heavy to carry alone? I think once we move through this month, we're going to feel really, really good, and we're going to feel a lot lighter. But you might want to come back to this podcast if you need reminding of these cards and just reminding of some of these tips, because I do think it might be a little bit intense emotionally at times. Okay, so that was it for the opportunity. Then I said, okay, well, what's the potential outcome of November? I always love to know kind of the progression. Obviously, things shift and change. Maybe all these cards are for you. Maybe just two are for you. Feel into it with your intuition. But it's fun to know, okay, where is this all leading us? Where is this taking us? Especially because, like I said, it feels like it's going to be a little intense at times. which can mean different things for different people. So the potential outcome of November says contemplation, and this is from the Nature Whispers deck. Potential outcome, enjoy your own company. This is a wonderful time for you to reorganize and consider the things you enjoy most in your life. Make a point of spending a little time allowing your mind to wander away from the everyday concerns that occupy your time. Give yourself an opportunity to be inspired. Ruminate on your own inner voice. Listen to your own inner counsel. So you're really going to be in reflection by the end of this month. And then the next card for the outcome was assurance. Remain steady and be assured you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You might be seeing small signs that things, situations, and desires are just beginning to fall into place. Your focus and skills are intact. You will feel motivated in work areas. New ways of dealing with things will occur to you. I feel like that's a big one. Fresh perspectives will appear. That feels big too. And as a result, your life will move towards harmony and balance. Trust yourself. You have everything you need. How good does that feel? After you move through all this month, that's what's coming for you. And then I ended up pulling one more card because I don't know, I felt called to from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. And I said, anything else for us to know? And I'll share what came through. Roots of abundance. The key concepts here are being stabilized by deep roots, anchoring yourself and feeling secure in your life, trust and belief in abundance. This card signals you to pay attention to how you are anchored in the story of your life. Trust that you will be taken care of. The world is full of limitless potential and will nourish you according to your beliefs, regardless of temporary outer conditions. You are never a victim of life. Life happens for you, not to you, even if you sometimes slip into that way of thinking. If you are grounded and internally steadfast, nothing can uproot you, and you have the ability to manifest your intentions with ease. The message here is simple. Your life is safe and secure, and your intentions are coming to fruition. All your hopes and dreams are firmly grounded and taking root so you can reach for the stars and expand further than you can imagine. You are unstoppable and unshakable because you know you are abundant. If you find yourself in ungrounded thinking, now is the time for radical trust. Growth never follows a straight line. You will manifest what you need when you need it. A tall, healthy tree doesn't need to hold on to the ground for dear life. It knows it will not fly away with the wind because its roots are planted deep in the earth. That is such a beautiful card. That makes me feel so safe and secure and excited about this month. And it also is reminding me of the visualization that I use often when my kids are having a tantrum, which my 3.5-year-old is next level right now. Oh my gosh, 3.5. I forgot how hard it is. But I will actually, sometimes I even close my eyes, but I will visualize myself. I'll focus on my breath and I will visualize myself as a tree. And I will just imagine my roots growing deeper and deeper. And then her little tantrums like the wind. And I'm just like, barely moving. No big deal. I got this. Usually it works. There are times when if I'm really tired, like, no, it doesn't work that well for me. But I highly recommend trying that visualization and just reminding yourself you are taken care of. You are steady. You are grounded. You are always taken care of in this life. Even if the illusion that you are not steps forward, you're always taken care of because you are a divine being. You are from God, source, universe, whatever you feel resonates. You're from your higher power. You're a piece of your higher power. And so you're always taken care of. The illusion is really just this earth experience, but you are always taken care of, even when it feels like you aren't. And if you are in your 40s like me, I'm sure you can look back and see how many times those huge bumps in the road or those mountains you had to climb, those situations where you felt like your life was about to be over, how many times those situations actually broke you open into your next version of self and really helped you become who you are now. there are many moments that I can think of now where I'm so grateful those things happened because they showed me ultimately how strong and powerful and capable I am, even when I felt like I wasn't going to make it to the next day. So I feel like that was a very dramatic way to end things, very like Scorpio of me. But if you've been watching for a while, you know I'm a deep feeler. So it is what it is, right? I hope you enjoy this energy update. Let me know how it's going. Let me know how you're moving through November. I'm right there with you. And feel free to reach out, send me a message if you are struggling in any way and you're like, I really need help with my mindset, or I really need help with energy clearing, or I don't even know what I need help with, but I want your guidance and I want your support. Reach out to me and schedule a one-to-one session or send me a DM and we can figure something out. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the High Vibe Soul podcast. Your support means the world to me. So if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, subscribe, and share with a loved one. Sign up for my newsletter and receive 2 free high vibe meditations straight to your inbox. And for more ways to work with me, click the links in the show notes. I would love to hear from you, so send me a message on my Instagram at the.highvibe.soul, and I'll see you next time.